Well, today I'm going to talk about how the language obviously affects the music industry and the importance of language in shaping the artists and the success, especially in the global markets. And I will also touch on how the society, how the society function in terms of language from a Hispanic perspective point of view. So first we need to understand how music in language other than English is often excluded. Just like in Hollywood and dominates films, there are three major records labels that controls obviously and have the resource uh, obviously to control this global music industry. They invest money, obviously, into radios and music streaming apps to be ahead, and obviously to ensure their artist appears on the front platforms. These labels are also experts and created trends and platforms like TikTok, and they understand they understand very well how to make a catchy music uh, to make obviously goes viral. So as a result, the music in other languages like Portuguese or French and also Spanish often lacks in the soft power and resources to influence audience in controls that doesn't speak those languages in other markets obviously. So for example in the Brazilian in music industry is mostly focused on its domestic market and rarely tries to to export its music to neighbor countries. If a Brazilian obviously artist want to be recognized globally, internationally, they usually need to sing in Spanish or English because the Portuguese doesn't carry the same cultural influence. Let me clarify that I'm talking about export music, that export music culture, obviously. And before anyone brings up the K-pop or J-pop, but especially K-pop, obviously what it's globally cultural popular, I believe doesn't count in its contents because it often lacks of traditional cultural elements like local instrument or rhythms. The obviously at least the only thing is the language, but many of the beats and the other rhythms is internationally. So most of it sound very similar to the American pop industry. And finally, I want to speak about my own country, Peru. One of the reasons why Peruvian artists struggle to become popular internationally is the lack, obviously, of support from the record labels and the limited resources. And there's also a shortage in the market shortages of marketing and artists develop that could help Peruvian music stand out. Sometimes the only way to artists to get attention is by becoming a meme. There's the local artist. There's the easy path, which doesn't help to build on a long-term recognition. If you have any thoughts of this topic, let me know and free comment down below on the comments.